Meeting of the Town of Southampton Conservation Board. In accordance with the Town Board's adoption of Local Law Number 14 of 2022, the Board's meetings are now being held both in person here at Town Hall and via video conference through Zoom webinar. The link to participate in this meeting via video conference can be found on the town's website at the Town Clerk's Agendas and Meetings portal. If you do not wish to join the live meeting, you can still watch the live stream video, and you can also submit written comments for the public record through the town website. The Zoom webinar is being moderated by CTV. If you are attending this meeting via Zoom and wish to speak during the meeting, then please type in the chat box that you would like to speak and which application you're here for, so then our CTV monitor can let you in at the appropriate time. As a reminder to all applicants, agents, members of the public who wish to speak at the meeting, please state your name and hamlet of residence for the record. Thank you. I would invite everyone to rise for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public hearings. Well, let's do the acceptance of the September 14th, 2022 minutes as written and or amended.
Motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Public hearings. A 019131 Lynn Prue Revocable Trust. Is there anyone here on Zoom who would like to speak on this application?
I hear crickets, so I guess that's a no.
Have we received any instruction as to adjourning this for the applicant?
They said they have some.
Oh, there's someone?
Yes. Okay. That's what they're saying when we should hand this out in December, so
Oh, let's just wait.
let's wait.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There it is. Okay, I'm on. Gina Rigdon, DKR Shores, here to represent Patricia Prue. Dennis Downs, the attorney for the client, was supposed to be on this evening. Dennis, are you here? I guess not. I apologize for laying this again. I spoke with Marty earlier. We have a lot more work to do on this. Have to discuss stuff with the attorney, with the client. I've been in some discussions with the DEC. I did file some preliminary modifications to the permit that was issued by the state. Mr. Shea did provide me with some more information to give them. And at this point, the client has not, I don't have permission right now to revise any plans because I am under the gun by the attorney as well. So I gave them some options. I'm waiting to hear back. And Dennis was supposed to come on today to represent. I apologize, so I'm here just in case he didn't speak. But we're gonna have to postpone again. I would need definitely a couple months to try to figure this out. So maybe January. I would say at least January.
Okay. We don't have a 2023 agenda yet, calendar yet?
All right, maybe December, and then I may have to postpone it again.
Well, let's,
I mean, the second and fourth Wednesday pattern is probably going to follow,
Yes.
but I wouldn't want to commit to that.
how about the 25th of January,
Okay,
2023?
okay. I will put that on the file and let them know.
Anybody else?
Is there anyone else on Zoom?
Yes, there's one more person.
Okay, you can let them on.
Maybe it's Dennis. so never mind.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn to January 25th, 2023?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
A021027 Morrison Feasnees and Kathleen Cuomo Feasnees.
Do have affidavits of posting and mailing in compliance with the town code, so the board does have jurisdiction to open the hearing, but the applicant has requested an adjournment to October 12th, 2022.
Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to speak in this application?
Motion to adjourn to October 12th. Oh, sorry, Kevin.
Been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Advisory reports for the Board of Trustees. Alfred Baldwin.
Good evening, Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the town. This application refers to residentially developed property at 45 Cedar Crest Road in North Sea. There are several recommended comments. The first is that the application for the proposed catwalk and dock did not provide a planar view, which is needed in order to ensure that disturbance to the on-site wetlands is minimized. Second, the proposed catwalk and dock application includes a specification sheet for precast cement pavers, which are to be installed along the north side of the proposed bridge or catwalk to the Peconic Bay, clearing of existing natural vegetation, and installation of the planned paver path will extend nearly 300 feet landward of the average high water mark. Such activity requires an administrative wetlands permit. Thirdly, the applicant has advised that installation of a paver path landward of the average high water line and through wetlands to the Peconic Bay will not be approved by the Chief Environmental Analyst. As such, the Conservation Board recommends that the plans be revised, and that's in order to eliminate the paver path from the site plan prior to resubmission to the trustees and filing of the required administrative wetland permit application.
Motion to send those comments to the Board of Trustees.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Christopher Witt.
This application relates to property at Temple Avenue in the hamlet of Flanders. There are several recommended comments. First is that the subject premises for which dock approval is being sought fronts on Reeves Bay and contains town and state regulated tidal wetlands. Second, while the Christopher Witt site plan documents is prepared by Tom Krul, dated March 3, 2022, do note that the dock will be constructed with light penetrable decking. No specifications have been provided with regards to intended dock framing material. Accordingly, the site plan needs to indicate that untreated wood will be used to support the dock, consistent with trustees and Conservation Board requirements. And thirdly, the applicant has advised that redevelopment of the vacant uplands, as well as establishment of a path to the planned dock, will necessitate a town administrative wetland permit.
Motion to send those comments to the Board of Trustees.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The administrative wetland permits are in your packets. We'll move on for the resolution of conditional approval, A021016, 2 Robbins Lane LLC. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to 2 Robbins Lane LLC for the proposed project on the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A021066, Nathan Bahar and Jamie Bahar. The applicant requests postponement until October 12th, 2022.
Motion to postpone until October 12, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A021074, Jamie and Jeremy Bennett. Any discussion?
Thanks, Alicia.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Jamie and Jeremy Bennett for the proposed project upon the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A021081, 658 Flying Point LLC, the applicant requests postponement until October 12th, 2022.
Motion to postpone to October 12th?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A021098, Attilio Soma and Mary Beth Soma. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland approval be granted to Attilio Soma and Mary Beth Soma for the proposed project upon the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A022028, Denise Sokolich, applicant request postponed until October 12th, 2022.
Motion to postpone until October the 12th, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A022063, Aaron Finkel and Rosa Alejos. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland approval be granted to Aaron Finkel and Rosa Alejos for the proposed project upon the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Preliminary review, second determination. A021061, Tony Lapari, applicant request postponed until October 12th, 2022.
Motion to postpone October 12th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A021076, Nicholas Christopher and Penelope Christopher, applicant request postponed until December 7th, 2022.
Motion to postpone until December 7th, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A022008, Andrew Holm and Jacqueline Harrington Holm.
Good evening again. Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the town. This application relates to a property on Main Street in the hamlet of Quehogue. The property is vacant and contains extensive tidal wetlands. The application has been filed in order to obtain a permit from this board in order to construct a single-family residence. There are various accessory structures inclusive of a pool and deck areas which are being planned. An IAOWTS would be installed, as well as a covenanted wetland preservation area would be established together with a naturally vegetated wetland non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated September 23, 2022. After several meetings with the applicant, the landowner has come forward with a plan that fully conforms with all of the requirements pursuant to Chapter 325. There is sufficient information to make a determination. As such, I'm recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing.
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Just for my own information, Marty, why do they need a second IAOWTS?
It's a large residence, and they're trying to maximize setbacks for the residents, so it was more favorable to have two separate systems on both sides of the residence in order to conform with the required construction setbacks.
Will they get two county deductions for that?
I don't believe so. This is new construction, so they're likely not eligible for a grant.
Thank you.
So the next application is A022006, Peter Cody. The applicant request postponed to October 12th, 2022.
Motion to postpone to October 12th?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A022015, Elizabeth G. Young Revocable Trust. Applicant requests postponed until October 26, 2022.
Motion to postpone to October 26th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A022047, Kevin H. Thomas.
This application relates to vacant forested property in the hamlet of Flanders. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated September 20, 2022. In coordination with my office, the applicant has come forward with an excellent plan for this property that maximizes setbacks for construction and establishes a covenanted wetland preservation area and naturally vegetated wetland non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer covering a considerable portion of the property. An IAOWTS would be installed as well. This is an application for which we have sufficient information to make a determination. As such, recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing?
Second.
Resolve that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A022065, Robert Fleischer and Susan Rainon.
This application relates to an existing developed property on Westwood Drive in the hamlet of Noyak. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated September 21, 2022. The landowner is seeking a permit from this board in order to redevelop the property. The new residence would be sited further landward at the premises. The applicant is amenable to establishing a covenanted naturally vegetated wetland non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer that would expand upon an existing beach grass trustees buffer. An IAOWTS would be installed. All requirements pursuant to Chapter 325 are being met for this property. As there is sufficient information to make a determination, I'm recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing?
Second.
Resolve that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A022077, Jennifer McCabe and Lee McCabe.
Oh, I'm sorry. The application that I just presented was Jennifer McCabe and Lee McCabe.
Okay, so we do this,
I'll make a motion to rescind my motion
Send your prior motion and make a new motion.
and make a new motion. Doesn't apply to 8022077 for the McCabe's.
is there a second?
Yep, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So we did that all in one thing. So now we'll introduce the next application, which is actually the previous. A022065, Robert Fleischer and Susan Rainon.
Okay, this application relates to an existing developed property on Highland Terrace in the hamlet of Bridgehampton. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated September 22nd, 2022. The applicant is seeking approval from this board to make modest improvements to the existing residence. There is an existing covenanted buffer at the property, which is in need of reclamation as a large portion of the buffer is overcome by invasive weeds. And there is an existing wire fence that needs to be taken out of the buffer as well. My office has been working closely with the applicant on a revised revegetation plan. There are no significant concerns regarding the intended construction. This is an application for which we have sufficient information to make a determination. As such, I'm recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive public hearing?
Second?
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution to issue modification, CB 20035, Sweet Briar Realty LLC.
This is a request for a modified permit for a property in Shinnecock Hills, for which this board had issued a permit for redevelopment. That permit was issued in, that there's an error in the first line in the resolution. That's not, I believe that's not the correct date for the permit issuance. In any case, the application has been filed in order to gain reapproval and a modified permit to proceed with residential construction activities and accessory improvements. The changes in construction are relatively minor. The driveway needs to be reconfigured in response to our request. The drive is going to be constructed with mountable curbing. Because of its close proximity to tidal wetlands, we want to ensure that any curbs that are installed do not present barriers to diamondback terrapins that leave the tidal wetlands to nest in proximate sandy areas. The mountable curb will also allow for eastern box turtle movement freely across the property without directing them out into the road. The applicant has agreed to all of the recommended refinements and modifications. As such, there is a resolution before you to issue the requested modified permit.
Motion to issue the modification.
Second?
Resolved that a wetlands permit modification be issued to Sweet Briar Realty LLC for the proposed project on the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution to transfer conditional approval, A 020071, 42 Cold Spring Point LLC.
This is just a change in property ownership that necessitates transfer of the permit. The new owners are amenable to all of the mitigation conditions that were placed on the original permit.
Motion to transfer the approval?
Second?
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to 42 Cold Spring Point LLC for the proposed project upon the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation.
I think there's someone in the
Oh,
audience want to make
yes.
sure what he really was here for. Oh, okay. No problem. It's, I just want to make sure you didn't have something to bring up before. we
Thanks for
finish.
coming.
We are. Thank you. Have a
We're
good
going to talk about you, no.
motion.
So in a moment, we'll go into executive session. Is there anything else we should talk about tonight? Because then we can adjourn executive session and go home, right? Not come back on?
Right, make a motion to adjourn the meeting in order to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation and not return.
Okay, we'll do that in a moment, but one thing I want to suggest first, and that is, back a few years ago, before COVID, remember that? We used to get get your report, the staff reports, as they were being developed, rather than just before the meeting. I think it'd be good to go back to that, to give board members more time to have a chance to look at the property and get familiar with it. Would that be possible to do?
Great idea, we're happy to do that.
Okay.
That means I have to get my email working.
Hello, it's 2022.
Me too.
And Karina, I spoke to you about this before in my limited way of technology. And I know you did some of this, but not exactly what I was looking for. So I'm going to try to explain that. And any of you guys can step in and help me explain better terminology to make it more accurate. But let me use an example first. When I'm reading, for example, my own email from, let's just say, Farm Bureau, and they send me an update of what's going on, and, you know, they are a political organization, and they speak about something going on in the legislature. And they say, so to review the proposed bill, click here, and the here is highlighted or something or other. And I think it's called
Hyperlink.
hyperlink. So what I think would be beneficial to all of us is that if we could do something like that, a hyperlink. So for example, public hearings, the first one, it could be any one of these. We might do the A019131 Lynn Prue Revocable Trust. So somewhere in there, either the number or maybe the name or part of the name could be in italics or it could be highlighted, where we would click that and then on our computer, and suddenly we've got Marty or the staff report right before us. And then we don't have to look up those things in the prior emails. I think it would be more efficient in our review of the documents.
Are you referring to the preliminary reports?
Yes,
Yeah, because, yeah, I find that many times something comes up, and I've tried having a system that I can keep in order of, especially if it's in my area, when it's going to come up, and then it gets adjourned, then
Yep.
you may modify it or something, and it comes up, and I feel lost. You know, I
Yeah.
don't feel adequately
yeah.
prepared.
I think there's a way to do this. We may need to work through it and get the kinks out, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
But is it possible, Karina?
Yeah, I've done it before, when we were using the tablets. That's the way.
Yeah,
I was
you
gonna
click
say, I
on
feel like I
the
remember us
report,
doing that.
And then you could click on the survey and it would come up. Or you could click on the resolution that goes along with it and it would come up right next to it.
And could you click on also the preliminary report? Yeah, because that it's nice just to, you
Yeah.
know, be refreshed, what Marty had originally, you know, suggested or advised, you know, when the applicant comes up, you know, to speak. That would be great.
I don't know if you meant this, but I would like to get every preliminary report, not just the ones in my area. Pardon?
Yeah, no, be everyone's.
yeah, so that when Marty completes it on a on a Tuesday, for example, just mass email it to each of the board members.
With the link.
Well, no, the link would come later and can refer to that, so that when you give the agenda, those hyperlinks are already there.
That would come the day of the meeting.
Yes, well,
But you could get the preliminary report.
usually the
and
Friday
sketch.
before the meeting.
You could get the preliminary report and the sketch as soon as Marty's done with
Yes.
it. And I send it out to the applicant.
Okay.
I would also email it to you guys, like I used
Yep.
to do.
Good, thank you.
Would it be a big deal to include a tax map for that particular application, or is that going to add a lot of work for you?
Do you mean on the report? Like, yeah, no, it goes on the report, so. it would be-
No, a copy of the tax map.
Oh, the map of it? Yeah, I could put it in
That'd be
Or how
great.
about
Like an
an aerial, how about an aerial photograph that shows the property highlighted? Would you prefer that?
That's great, too, if we could have that as
Yeah, we
well.
can do that.
But I like a tax map as well,
Oh,
just to,
okay,
just to focus in on
okay.
where it's at.
Don't forget you have access to GIS yourself.
Yeah, but Tom,
Right, on the GIS, right?
I'm just overstating the obvious.
Always look right over my.
So what we'll do with the tax map
sorry.
is pan out to a larger scale, so it's easier for you to identify where that property is in a particular hamlet. And then we'll also provide the close-up aerial, so you have both
all right, that'd be great.
pieces information.
We'd have to go to GIS to get those maps? Or they're just gonna be included? I mean, is there any
Be
way?
included,
I'll
Oh.
get them from GIS.
yeah, show.
And I think you should put in for a raise, Corinne, of this one.
Because I know it can be very helpful to initially see where the property is situated in the hamlet.
Yes.
And then to focus.
And to see what's nearby
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly.
Okay? So,
And now we're ready to go into executive session.
motion to go into executive session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And Kevin, we're now done with